Hello there. This is Cooper from Ray Olson Family Financial Planning. Just wanted to start off by saying thank you for taking the time to watch this video as well as input this information in MoneyGuidePro, our financial planning software. This is going to make our first meeting very easy, as well as give us some information about you that will help in our preparation for that initial meeting. So just to jump right into it, in order to input this information, I have set up an account in our planning software through your email address and sent you an email granting you access to your financial goal plan. So when you get your email, it will look exactly like this. So you have been registered by Ray Olson Jr. for online access to Investment Planning Center. All you will need to do is click on this link. That will bring you to the login page, and you push login, and you log in with your login credentials that I will provide you. So for me, I'm just going to put those in right now. And it will actually prompt you to change your password. So I'm going to do that now as well. Perfect. And it's going to go through some terms of service with the software. Go ahead and read that if you need to, and then push accept. It's going to bring you to the actual plan itself. So what I'm going to do is actually go through this step by step so you can follow me as you're doing yours and make sure that everything is done correctly. So this first page is just some personal information about you and your employment situation. For me, I am single, so it's just showing me, but the spouse is typically on the right-hand side. So we'll just need to change the employment income. I'll put $5, making a lot of money over here. And then now if I was married, I could put married, and then I can include my spouse's information as well. I am single, so I will leave it at single. And then once you're satisfied with this, go ahead and push that next button. And then it's asking you for any dependents that you may have. So I don't personally have any dependents, but if you did, very simple, just click this yes button, then click add, then you can add the name, what type of relationship it is, who the person is having the relationship with, date of birth, and age. This is also really awesome to have in your plan because your plan is about your life and your dependents are a big picture of your life. So once we have those added in, then we can click the next button. Oh, gotta delete this first, apologize. And this next section are your expectations and concerns. And we'll get into this a little bit more in our initial meeting and just kind of getting to know each other. But this is a really powerful section of the plan. And so it's really important to take a look at this and actually identify some of these expectations and concerns on your own. So if you click this select expectations, you'll see a bunch of options. And so these are retirement expectations. What do I expect in retirement? Well, obviously, if I'm retirement, I probably don't want to work at all. For me personally, I'm very, very close with my family. So having time with friends and family, super important to me and definitely an expectation. Travel, love to travel. Less stress, of course, everyone loves that less stress. And also I love to live an active lifestyle. So that's about it for me. Now, if there is something that you do expect in retirement and you do not see, you go ahead and click this something else button. And this will give you the ability to customize anything and add anything in there. Now, Your plan will look a little bit different than mine. So you'll have actually two options, one for the husband, one for the wife. And so for me, it's just Cooper, but you would see both names and you can pick and choose which one you are expecting. The next one is this concerns button. And concerns are very real. Retirement is very scary. So what we need to do in the plan is account for those concerns and make sure we build the plan and customize it so that you feel comfortable with the plan and overcoming some of these concerns. So it's broken down into categories. We have some things like money, and this is where we kind of come in. We also help a little bit with health and family as well, but a lot of people are concerned about suffering investment losses, especially in the current market environment with COVID-19 going on right now. So say we put that and we say that's a high concern. And the other, I feel pretty comfortable for the rest of this, but let's go down to health. I've always, even if it's irrational on my part, I've always thought, well, man, what if I die early? So that is definitely a concern. And I would say that's about medium. The next in here, we have personal and family. So family is a big part of our life. They also present a lot of stress and a lot of concerns. We want what's best for our family. So definitely some things in here that we could take a look at. For me personally, my parents needing care, that's a big concern for me. Now, if there's something else in here that's not identified, I can go ahead again and customize this as well. For me, I'm satisfied with these three main concerns, and I'm going to put those in the plan. So awesome, we have that in the plan. We're all set on the expectations and concerns. We can go ahead and push this next button. This next button is your goals section. So if I show you right here, we have the goals highlighted. And what's in here is one, when you are aiming to retire, and then also when you are expecting your longevity, what you're expecting your longevity to be. So for me personally, I would love to retire at 60. It's always been kind of a goal to retire by 60. So I'm going to put that as 60 for me. And I want my money to be there. I want to be conservative. So I want my money to be there in case I were to live longer. So just for comfort for me, I'm going to go to age 95. Now, what we typically do in this section is we'll have the discussion with you through this button right here called discuss. And this you can go through and fill it out, and then it will update and calculate a reasonable planning age for you. So what we typically do is plan out to the 30 percentile. So there is a 30% chance that me personally will live to the age of 92. And so that is great if you're a smoker or if you have family history of health problems, that can also adjust your number. So if it's shorter than average, it's actually saying, okay, well, maybe 89 is a better one. I'm going to leave that as is though, and keep it from age 60 to 95. So as we see in here, 36 years, quite a long time in retirement. So we need to make sure we plan as best as possible. Next, do we plan on moving to another state or during retirement? I am so far away from retirement, I have no idea. So I'm going to leave that as no, but if you do know, you can push yes, and then you can select where and when you will move. This just is very helpful for taxes and accounting for those within the plan. Once we're happy with that, then we can go into this next section. And this is the goal section. And this is where it gets most fun. This is where all of our clients love to dive in. And we spend a lot of time catering these goals to match their needs and expectations. So to start, every plan needs to have a retirement living expenses section. So what this is actually your living expenses in after-tax dollars estimated when you are to be retired. So this is in current dollars, and so it will be inflated as time goes on. And so for me personally, I would like about $10,000 a month. So I'm going to do $120,000, and this is just basic living expenses. And I'm going to go ahead and input that in the plan. So we have that next. The other big thing that we typically have with clients is this healthcare section. This actually takes a ton of data and calculates averages based on healthcare costs. Additionally, this is also inflated at about 4.8%. So it's inflated at a higher inflation rate than the rest of them just based on current market conditions. So we have that in there. And I'm going to leave that alone. I'm not going to customize that at all. Next, we can go in and we can add any goal that we want. So if I want to travel, go ahead there, throw that in travel. And we can actually customize this to make it a reoccurring trip. Starting when I retire, and I want $10,000 a year, and I want this to last 20 years. Oh, sorry, 1 year for 20 years. We can go ahead and put that in there. So now we have travel. And if there's any other goals in there, we can go ahead and include that as well. Last thing I do want to point out is these icons are cool, but there also are pictures to be able to customize the plan even more. So I love boats. I love the ocean. So for travel, let's throw in the ocean and a big yacht. Love that. Okay. So I got the goals in here. Awesome. Now I'm going to move on to the money section. And this is where it's going to be inputting a lot more of your information. And so having any statements or documents would help increase the fluidity of this process. So the first one is Social Security. I am going to be expecting to receive benefits, and so I'm going to go ahead and push yes, and I'm going to select the age that I'm probably going to do that full retirement age, 67, and then it's going to calculate it for me. Sorry, I'm actually going to switch this to advanced. So this is actually what we're supposed to be looking at. So Social Security, you have a better estimate for your benefits. You would select this yes if you are able to log into ssa.gov and obtain a really good benefit for it. If you don't have this at the time, just push no, and then it will automatically calculate it based on your income, and it will calculate an earnings history that you put in. So I'm going to say no, and it's going to calculate it for me. If we have any widower's benefit or anything, we can go ahead and put it in there, but I do not. So I'm just going to use it at 67 right here. So next we have, and it is saying 0 just because my employment income section, I only put $5. So that's why it's saying 0. With yours, it will be more. Next in here, we have retirement income. So if we have any sort of pension or rental property income, or if you're planning on working a part-time job once you retire, that's when you go ahead and put it in here. So you would select yes, add retirement income. So if we want part-time employment, we go ahead and do that. If we have a pension, go ahead and do that. So great. Once we're happy with that, we can go ahead and say next, and then it will bring you to this disclaimer. And this is an integration called Yodlee. And Yodlee essentially brings in any outside accounts into your plan. So if you have an outside bank account, if you have an outside brokerage account, if you have anything like that, you can go ahead and push accept, and then establish any linked accounts in there. I actually have another video tutorial going through how to establish these linked accounts. And so if you wanted to go ahead and do that, I will just reach out to me and I'll also send that video tutorial as well. But it's really straightforward. Just push link account and then search for your institution, enter the credentials, and then bingo bango, you're all set to go. I'm gonna leave that is for now. Next, we have the investment assets section. So any investment assets that you have that you did not link with through Yodlee will need to get entered in here. So how to do that is just push add investment account, and then you can scroll through and you can say, okay, I have a 401k, so I'm gonna go ahead and input the 401k. You do this two ways. You can either do the add total or add holdings. Add holdings makes it a little more complicated. You can go through and pick each fund that you have in your 401k and the current value of that. But for us now, all we'll need you to do is add the total. So put in the total and about how that's allocated. If you aren't sure on that, just put it 100% unclassified. And then we're good to go. And that's because we just kind of want current values of stuff. You can also name it if you need to. And then the most important thing with the 401ks and any other accounts is to make sure you include contributions currently. So if you are adding money in, you can go ahead and put that in. So if it's a traditional 401k, it would be pre-tax. If it's a Roth 401k, it'd be after tax. You can go ahead and put in, okay, I'm putting in 15% of my income. And the employer match is actually, they are matching 100% up to the first 5%. So then we have it in there and we're all squared away and ready to go. Any other investment assets, we've got to go ahead and put that in there as well. Next section, this is actually another savings goal. So if you can consider saving more in the plan, then we can go ahead and say yes. And then, okay, we can put in a certain amount of money and how willing we're willing to do this. For now, I'm just going to leave it as no. Next section, other asset section. So any your home value, any rental properties, any land that you can put vehicles, anything in here, you can go ahead and put in. So if I were to put my current home, go ahead, put home. It's a joint home. Actually, I don't have, so we're just gonna leave it here. It's worth $50,000. And I actually don't want to sell this house to fund any goals in my plan. So now we have it in there. If I have any other assets that I want to add in here, we can go ahead and add those accordingly. Once I'm satisfied with that, we can go ahead and push next. Next section is actually insurance policies. Insurance policies are as important in a holistic plan as anything else. And so we want to make sure we account for that. So if you have any pre-existing insurance policies, you can go ahead and put those in as well. So any cash value life policies, those are permanent or whole life policies. Non-cash value, that's when you get into term or group life through your employer. So you can go ahead and enter those in as well. Next section in here, stock options. A lot of people don't have stock options, but some people do. So if you have a specific stock option, and you know all the details surrounding that, go ahead and put that in there. If you kind of get confused on this, just take note that you have a stock option, let us know, and then we can help get it in the plan accordingly. Moving on, do we have any restricted stock options? So this also goes with the stock options, exactly what I said before. Just reach out to us if you are confused in anything like this, and we'll help you with that. Next section, liabilities. So any mortgages or student loans or anything like that, you can go ahead and put in as well. So I'm going to leave this as no as well. And then the last section in here is actually a quick little net worth statement. And that is all that we need to put into the plan. So once I push next, we have all the money in. And this section is actually the risk questionnaire. Now, in our welcome packet, we usually include a risk questionnaire. So if you have already completed it, then don't worry about this section. We'll pre-populate this for you. And let's see. Yeah, I don't want to get into any of this other stuff. So once you're done and once you get to this net worth section, that's all we need to do. So don't feel like you need to push next and enter the risk questionnaire or anything like that. We just want to focus on getting your personal information, your goals, expectations, and then any money that we have currently, any assets we have currently. And that will be sufficient for our first meeting. So I appreciate you. I apologize. This was a longer video, but I hope it was helpful. And once again, thank you for taking the time. And I'm really looking forward to meeting you face to face and diving into your plan and your expectations and just your life as a whole. So thank you.